on up and pass the bottle. Put your foot down on the throttle. Buckle up, motherfuckers, for the Dog Water Radio Show.
Sunrise coming on a Saturday, and I'm feeling wrung out again. But no matter what happened, my toe keep a tapping, and I crank it on up to 10. You want me to settle down, just coming around because you ain't no friend of me. I thought I told you one big more, but maybe sipping back, but don't let no lie. Just in case you didn't understand me, well, I'll inform you of the facts. While you're fixing up your life the way you want it, I'm fixing for a holiday.
This house is a fucking prison! On planet bullshit! In the galaxy of this sucks camel dicks!
Hello, folks. We are here to supply you with your gasoline for your party machine. My name's Dogbite Harris, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr.
I am the immortal Blackwater Nerd.
Did you rip your shirt right there when you said that?
just came out with the whole, like, cupping my hands over my ears, getting ready to do the big old leg drop.
Yeah, and I was shaking the ropes and shaking my body like the Ultimate
The
Warrior.
superpowers, man.
Hell yeah, the
Uh-huh.
superpowers. Yeah, so
Anyways,
that was a little motherfucking ruckus, also known as MF Ruckus, if you want to go PG on it. That was the song Gasoline. Great band there out of Colorado. We had them at our the second Splatterhouse Ruckus. Is a pretty damn good show.
excellent.
So, how was your week, Mr. Blackwater? What'd you do? Anything good?
My week was good. I don't know. It was pretty I don't know, sort of uneventful, sort of not. Got a few things around the house done.
Yeah,
Put a barb. I bought a barbecue yesterday. Put it together this afternoon.
fun.
You
Yeah,
know,
well, we're
adulted,
socialistic.
adulted a little bit. You know, upgraded my drilling capacity from tailgate to stationary. So
I like that. What did you christen the grill with? Did you cook on it tonight
I have not.
to
I did not cook on it tonight. I ate some leftover Taco Bell for dinner. Actually, not plugging a corporate conglomerate or
Yeah,
anything.
Taco Bell is not an official sponsor of Dogwater Radio, just in case anybody is wondering. Taco Bell is just something that we enjoy casually from time to time. So,
Yeah, and chalupas are my bugaboo. You
oh,
know,
I love chalupas.
chicken chicken chalupas are that's it right there. So, but yeah, no. Other than that, did a couple of trips into to the grocery store. Had to mask up and look like a bandit trying to rob a stagecoach going into the Walmart and everything. But we got to do our part and everything. So
Yeah, yeah. Dude. So like, I'm gonna sound like the biggest dick in the world right here, and I'm okay with that. So, I have to wear my mask at work because I'm essential, for pretty much the fucking 12 hours a day. And
uh,
so by the time I get a break to go in the store, I rip that fucker off. I don't give a shit because I
I
need some
I
goddamn
don't blame
pressure.
you.
It's kind of shitty, but at the same time, I'm like, I look around, there's a million other people that ain't got their fucking masks on, so I don't feel too bad.
True, and the thing is, like, and if like I do go in somewhere and I don't have a mask on, I do try to stay away from people. Like,
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's more just as important as wearing a mask. I stay the fuck away from anybody, really.
yeah,
If so, I mean, unless somebody brushes up on me, and then I'm like, whatever, that's your fucking risk. But I can avoid, if I can avoid personally hitting up somebody, yeah, I definitely do. I try to keep the 6 foot rule in effect.
oh yeah. If not 6 foot, like I kind of like shy away from them. Like when I walk by, like yeah, I don't mean like
Hmm.
disrespect, but we got to keep ourselves safe and shit. So
Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those things, man.
hmm anyways, so how was your week?
Oh, it wasn't too bad. I just worked. Thankfully, I've got a few days off. I'm getting kind of fucking burnt out. Being essential is kind of the shits. We've taken on a bunch of new stuff at work, on top of just the extra shit we have to do for the coronavirus and shit. So, I needed a few days off, which is good. But they called us in for a meeting today, and that kind of pissed me off, to be honest, because basically I was like, well, what the fuck are they going to call us for? Because they called in like every mental health facility that's in our company on the eastern side of Oregon.
Uh-huh.
And we So I was like, what the fuck is this about? You know, this could be bad news, really, you know, with how things are going. But then my boss was kind of like, oh, they just want to make sure that there's been some people complaining that they feel like they're not getting the guidance they need through this. And I'm like, motherfucker, I need a break. I don't need more guidance. Like, so thanks for making me zoom in on my fucking day off. But they were like, hey, we're giving you guys a $200 bonus every month. So I was like, fuck, thank you. Thank you, work.
Yeah,
Not,
hey, that completely works.
yeah. So not bad news, but I'm just, boo. Uh, I'm a little burnt out, to be honest. Of this podcasting shit's kind of kept me super busy at times. It's a lot busier than, you know, a lot of people think because of the fact that, you know, I've got 3 going now. And we're talking about kind of trying to launch a network out of everything. And I've talked to Chris Miller and Joshy P about bringing their shit back. So it's been a lot of work. And I've been, you know, a lot of the editing time and shit. So a lot of my days off have been like focusing on that. Then by the time I get done with the podcast stuff, the wife is finally off on her weekend. So we've been, usually we have to do something new to her fucking car every week, or go grocery shopping. So it's been all go. I haven't slept a lot, but this week's a little slower than last week because I had that Ruckus in the 90s thing, which was a blast to do. But
Yeah, I was gonna say we should talk about that after you know.
yeah, that's actually on my list right now. So instead of bitching about my week and how busy I am, we should probably talk about that
Yeah,
little piece of pod.
yeah, and I shouldn't cut you off. You know, everybody got an event, and this is a good place
Well,
to
no,
do that. So
yeah, well, and I kind of thought maybe I was thinking that maybe that would be a good segue to roll into the Ruckus in the 90s, which was a great big success.
it was.
A lot of people that have been watching have saw the announcement that we've almost doubled our likes on the Ruckus and the Records Facebook page this month.
I know that's fucking fantastic.
Yep, and that's almost 1,000 likes in 1 month, which I know that's peanuts to some folks out there, but this is without paid sponsorship from Daddy's pocket. You know, this is all organic. It's all
It's
bands and artists.
it's all grassroots, man.
Yep, it's all bands and artists contributing to help out, and it was a lot of fun. Ms. Hannah Moore out of Tacoma, Washington, won it, and it was a nail biter too, man. It was really hard to count. There was a lot of excuse me, my dog just jumped down off the couch. I got one dog on here licking her butt, and the other one won't sit still. So, Mary, quit licking your ass.
It's all right. Mine the other day went shit like she was constipated, and I thought like, yeah, is this a big old turd? No, she got into some peanuts, and it was big old fucking. It looked like a big old fucking giant squirrel took a dump.
Well, so yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so Hannah Moore, 16-year-old girl out of Tacoma, Washington, took it, and let me tell you, she hung with everybody too. There's no nobody handed that to her, you know. Nobody handed that to her. She earned it. She got a bunch of votes, 600. Or well, there's like. So we'll recap here. I kicked off the event, and I lost by a technicality. I had to disqualify myself because I sang one of a song off the only Garth Brooks album from the 80s, and I thought much too young.
Although that song was also off the Greatest Hits album later in the 90s, so, you know.
Yeah, that's not fair, though. That's totally not the...
I know.
That's that's not even a technicality. But so anyways, so I got disqualified. I played Nutshell by Alice in Chains, and so there was so much going on, and it was an all day thing. It went from 1 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night. We had a lot of great entrances, and the top four out of all of them ended up being Set in Stone. Our friend AJ Hendricks, an
Hell
old
yeah.
Hefner homie, they came in fourth. And then
They did great, man. I loved their fucking set.
yeah, and then Johnny Bourbon came in third, and his set was awesome.
Hell yeah.
I
He played the Harvey Danger song, didn't he?
Oh yeah, and then he did a good Oasis song, and
Yeah.
I was expecting somebody to do Wonderwall, but he did another one, and it was I thought it was cool because he didn't do what he did an Oasis song, but not the one everybody would expect somebody to do, and he killed it. He did fucking great, honestly. I mean, and I'm not taking anything away from Hannah, but if I had to throw my coins down on what set was the most talented, I think it'd have to be Johnny's. Personally, I think that just the votes weren't there for him,
Yep.
But then Mr. Husky Burnett came in the next. He did some Butthole Surfers and Danzig, I think is what he did. And then Hannah Moore came out and she did No Diggity was her big one that she did. And fuck, I can't remember what her other fucking song was now off the top of my head though. But yeah, she slayed it, man, and she was really excited, and she it's funny too because a lot of these guys are professional musicians, and I have to help her get a logo for Koozies because she doesn't have one yet, and I'm like walking her through all this stuff, and it's like, oh, I got a great idea for a logo, and then she sends me like a Polaroid picture with some fonts on it, and I'm like, well, we can't do that, and then she was like, well, my friend's going to draw something up. And I'm like, well, we can't do that either. So I had to explain to her like graphic design and stuff like that. So, but it's been cool. I'm happy she won, man. She really,
Hell yeah.
really tried hard. And, like I said, nobody handed her that.
No, she was fantastic.
I just want to make sure, even though I think that Johnny Bourbon's set was a little better. Johnny Bourbon's also probably got 20 years more experience than she does, so, and she hung with him, that's my personal opinion on the matter. It's not a fact, it's just how I felt about it. But
I will say
she did great, man.
Yeah, I will say my favorite song, or my favorite one that out of everybody who did them, and I'll gotta give him credit, old Ryan Yates. I love the Asshole song.
Yeah, people flipped out when he played that. I'm surprised he didn't get more votes.
Yeah, no, I thought it was awesome. I give him credit for it. That was a great pick to do.
The thing is too is pretty much there was hardly any votes for anybody underneath the top four.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pike came in with the highest, and I think she got an even 20.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else at 100. And here's another thing. Like I said, it was a nail biter. When I counted those fuckers, it took me and Claire about 2 hours. It was a 2-person job because I started a survey on SurveyMonkey, and I've used SurveyMonkey multiple times in doing shit, and it's never once tried to charge me. And then so it decided somewhere between the last time I did a survey and this time, they decided to start charging.
Oh.
So they let you have 100 free votes or 100 free answers, and then they start charging. So I got up to 100 answers, or 100 100 answers on the survey.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, okay, well, to continue this, to see the rest of the votes, you have to pay $30 a month.
Holy shit.
And I was like, son of a bitch. But just to keep things smooth, I was going to pay the $30 just because I didn't want to fuck with it. I didn't want to go in and tell everybody, like, look, I fucked up. We have this shit going on. So then I go in, I go through all the options. I put it in the fucking cart. I'm getting ready to pay for it. And then they want you to pay for a whole year. So it came out to like 300 or like $400, something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude, I was fucking pissed. So anyways, I had to get back on there with my tail between the legs and be like, well, we got to think of another way to vote. And the only thing, I tried a couple other options, but the only thing I could come up with was like, all right, well, we'll wait till the end of the contest and I'll put the post up and everybody can just vote. So then me and Claire get on there, and then Facebook starts fucking with us. It won't let us see past like 200 votes. It's not putting them in any particular order. And then when you refresh it, it fucking goes to a different order. So we had to get out the laptop and look at all the fuck. It took forever. And then one of us ended up having to just read the votes off while the other one tallied. Like, I couldn't have done it without her. It was a fucking disaster.
Nice.
So then the whole time we were doing this.
Well, I mean, nice that she was able, like, she was there to help you out.
Yeah. But so the whole time we did this, all 4 of those fucking bands were number 1 at one point in time. You could tell by doing the tallies when somebody would share the post, because there would be like a huge pocket of somebody getting votes. Mm-hmm. And then it would be like dead for a while. And we get a couple random ones. And then you would see a giant pocket. So there'd be like 20 votes would come in for Set in Stone, and that would put them ahead of everybody. And then like a little bit would go by, and then you could see like 20 something would come in for Hannah. But we got it through about, I would say, 2/3 of it. And then nobody passed Hannah again. But at one point in time, all those top 4 guys were in the front running for a minute. So, and you know, what was funny is I knew Husky got a lot of votes. I could see it. You know, I wasn't counting them, but I was at work, but I could see them on my notifications on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And I thought Husky was going to get it. I didn't think Hannah would have beat him by so much, but I thought Husky was going to get it. But for a while, Husky didn't get shit. Like, I was like, how the fuck? And then all of a sudden, Husky ended up with getting like 75 votes or something. I mean, probably not that many, but he got like a bunch of votes, which put him in front for a while. And then Hannah passed him again and ended up nobody passed her again after that. But Johnny and Husky went back and forth for a minute. It was insane. It was the closest thing I've ever tallied.
Nice.
But yeah, it was fun, man. I think I got a few different ways to do it. There are a couple fucking crybabies on there, but
fuck them.
You know, yeah, there's a couple whiny little bitches that fucking were pissy about the fucking poll getting messed up and shit. And you know, the one person that had a right to be fucking pissed was Johnny Bourbon, and he was the one that was the most, you know, considerate out of everybody. You know, because he had goddamn half the poll before it stopped counting on Survey Monkey. He had like 40 fucking votes on there. I think he got them all back, but you know, he was dominating the poll at that point in time. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, man.
Oh yeah,
good time.
You know, are you thinking about doing it again, or are you gonna maybe do like, you know, like go for like a different decade, maybe do like 80s or 70s? Or...
Well, it seems to be the popular vote is for the 80s, and so I think we'll do an 80s one. But I think I'm gonna wait a while.
Yeah.
I think we'll let this one stew a while. I'm honestly thinking about maybe, because I was thinking about just making this kind of like a ruckus event, so everybody look forward to it all year. But I think I'll probably do it a little sooner this year because of the fact that this time next year, hopefully this shit's done.
Well,
And
yeah.
this time next year, people aren't going to are not going to want to be stuck on their phone for 10 hours watching this
No,
shit.
they're gonna want to actually
Um,
be like out at a show, like watching it live.
especially with the type of spring we've had this year. It's been super nice. People have just been stuck inside, and it's been so
Jesus
nice,
Christ,
you know.
it's not even May, and it was 80 degrees today. Or it's been like
Yeah, it
the
was
same like
great.
the last few days.
Yeah. And so I think I'm gonna do it like next winter, probably after Christmas, around the new year. And we'll probably try the Ruckus in the 80s thing out. And also I think another thing that'll make it a little more unique is I think that the 80s is pretty metal heavy. And if this quarantine shit's lifted and social distancing shit's over, I think a lot more bands will enter, and that will make it a little bit more interesting.
Dude,
So, and I've got
do it
some,
over MLK weekend and be having a Ruckus and the Boonies presents I Have a Dream of the 80s.
I'm also thinking about changing it up a little bit. Like, I might make a group for it, you know? And so everybody has to join the group to vote, and then I can use the polls on the group, so I don't have to fuck with shit anymore. And then after that, I also think like I might not do it all live. I might just have everybody record their video and submit it to me, and then I'll upload them all day. So the process is, and I think people might be able to have a little more fun with it. You get some people that can take a few different shots. Maybe some people dress up and shit. You know, maybe somebody will try to do a little higher quality video and stuff like that, which is kind of like good and kind of bad, you know, because I mean,
and in the end, you could splice them all together and make like one like big video to put on YouTube. After the whole thing is said and done, just so people can go back and watch it.
Yeah, maybe that might be a good one too. But yeah, that might be a good way. I think I don't know. I mean, we got a year to figure it out, or 9 months or so. So it'll definitely. I think it'll definitely be a little better next year. I'm more of a '90s fan, but I think there is more '80s fans than '90s fans, and people really are wanting the '80s. So I think we'll just give the people what they want, you know.
Dude. Neon Boogaloo 2, or what was it? God, what was that movie? Jump into the Streets 2, Neon Boogaloo.
I don't fucking know that one, I don't think.
Oh, it was a terrible, terrible 80s movie.
Yeah.
It was like the pre-Kid and Play days. Bad. Even though the Kid and Play house party movies and their like little side movie was good.
You know, I was more of a fan of Class Act myself than I was House Party.
Class Act was a great movie. I loved that. Dougie Doug.
And
Dougie Doug made that movie.
Duncan Pinder Hughes.
I'm Duncan Pinder Hughes, man.
Yeah, Blade Brown. Oh my god.
But no, like Dougie Doug being the I guess he was like a reformed crackhead at that point. In the movie.
He was kind of a lackey, but he was funny. And Pauly Shore was in that fucking movie.
He was.
Pauly
Shore was.
Yeah, it's like the class president or something. But yeah. But what do you say to these guys some music, man?
Yeah, they're probably working on about fucking bullshit.
About 25 minutes of talking, so
yeah.
Well, we got one of the Ruckus in the 90s entries. East Coast Dave McGuire. sent me a link today to his stuff, and this one's called On Drugs. So I decided I'd put this one on the show. Followed by
Nice.
one of our headliners from the first annual, if this fucking shit's over with, our first annual Ruckus Summer Smokeout, Mr. Lauren Walker Madsen with Slave to the Road. And we'll be right back with you guys in a few minutes.
I have to try to help people with my music.
Some people are saying that your new music sounds a lot like Bob Dylan.
Well, maybe Bob Dylan sounds a lot like me. You know, how come nobody ever asked Bob Dylan why you sound so much like Dewey Cox?
Mailboxes drip like lampposts in the twisted birth canal of the Coliseum. Rim job fairy teapots mask the temper tantrum. Oh, say, can you see 'em? Stuffed cabbage is the darling of the laundromat. The mouse with the overbite explained how the rabbit...
What the hell is this song about?
I have no idea.
You guys are idiots. This song is very deep.
Inside the three-eyed monkey within inches of his toaster oven light.
What do your parents think about your protest songs?
What do your parents think about my protest songs, Mr. Time Magazine?
I'm on lots of drugs, but you know that that's not really true, cause I only like to smoke weed. I don't like crack and I don't like smack, but I love to smoke my stash. I'm on drugs. You'll smoke that nicotine and you'll drink that alcohol, but you can't handle anybody smoking weed at all. But you'll eat that sugar down and you'll drink up that caffeine. That makes you a hypocrite, and it's hard to smoke grass with your head shoved up your ass. So maybe you should pull yours out and see the light at last. Ain't doing anybody no harm, ain't no need to be alarmed. I'm on drugs. Well, Hearst, DuPont, and the oil men, yeah, they all knew the score. That's why they had Anslinger make weed against the law, using lies and racism and a funny new Mexican word. They blew a smoke screen on you. Live and let live, that's my philosophy. I'm sorry you don't feel the same when it comes to smoking weed. If you don't feel like getting high, well, that's alright with me. But I wish you would just leave me alone. And it's hard to smoke grass with your head shoved up your ass. So maybe you should pull yours out and see the light at last. Ain't doing anybody no harm, ain't no need to be alarmed. I'm on drugs. I know you don't like to think so, but you're on drugs like me. The only difference is I've chosen drugs legality. It's time for you to turn around and face reality. I'm on drugs and so are you. So I'm gonna smoke my sweet, sweet bud. You can drink your booze. We both know in 20 years you'll be the one to lose. Cause when your mind is shot and your body's wrecked and your liver is rotted away, I'll be laughing and smoking and singing like I am today. And it's hard to smoke grass with your head shoved up your ass. So maybe you should pull yours out and see the light at last. Ain't doing anybody no harm, ain't no need to be alarmed. I'm on drugs. And it's hard to smoke grass with your head shoved up your ass. So maybe you should pull yours out and see the light at last. Ain't doing anybody no harm, ain't no need to be alarmed. I'm on drugs. You're on drugs. We're all on drugs.
Cry every night for you. These arms, they long to hold you again. Boom, boom, boom. The hurting's on me, yeah.
Talk about the hurt.
And I will never be right. No, 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 no. You gave a promise promised to me, yeah. And you broke it. You broke it, honey. These eyes are crying. These eyes have seen a lot of love, but they're never gonna see another one like I have with you. These eyes are crying. These eyes have seen a lot of love, but they're never gonna see another one.
How could I forget the first time that I walked out of that door for good? I left the only world that I ever knew in a cloud of dust and smoke back in the rear view, far behind me. Yeah, but the smell of gasoline, the world underneath my feet, it sounded pretty good to me. And how could I forget the first time that I drove myself back out to Denver, Colorado? The wind was strong, the wind was cold, and it nearly scared the hell right out of me as I passed through Wyoming. Yeah, but that ice, the snow, the open road was all I ever needed. Yeah, it was all I'd ever dreamed. But I'd let her build me up just to tear me down, and I'd let her chew me up just to spit me out. She owns every single piece down to my soul, 'cause I'm a slave of the road. Well, the Badlands in Dakotas, or the rolling western hills in Oklahoma suit me just fine. A northwest breeze between the evergreens always finds a way to bring me down to my knees, just like the first time. Yeah, there's some things that I hope don't ever change. They keep on getting ripe with age, just like the finest wine. In the blazing heat in Texas, or the bitter cold that whips right through the Midwest, still makes me feel good. The Big Apple to Chicago, the highways and the byways and the back roads, they're my plantation. I just keep on living out my days, don't think I'll ever break the chains. Yeah, it's all I've ever known. But I'd let her build me up just to tear me down, and I'd let her chew me up just to spit me out. She owns every single piece down to my soul, 'cause I'm a slave of the road. And how could I forget the first time that I walked out of that door for good?
Dang, Elvis Presley, you didn't have to rile him up like that.
What now?
No,
Excuse me, what?
I'm just saying, we gotta follow that. And
Well, sometimes you have to go all out when you're the king and you can't help it, you know? Because there's only one man who's the king. God picks him, hand plucks him. One night, God looked down at all the millions and millions and millions of people, man. And he decided which one was the best. And it was me. And he plucked me from all those millions and millions and millions of people, man.
yeah,
Listen to this right now. There's two things you need to know. I'm the king. And number two is, look out, man. Look at that. They're coming at you. You see that? It's called karate, man. And only two kinds of people know it. The Chinese and the king. And one of them is me.
you're the king.
Oh, see, on the Memphis, they want a nice little bit of honey and a little bit of June bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, crown rib. On the wall somewhere around.
Uh-huh.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. See you there now. Come around. See around. Look out, man. Look at this. Some long game, sir, man.
Well, thanks, Elvis.
Well, I'm on, man. Come on. Let's go. Come on, brother.
What the fuck was he talking about?
Well, isn't that just the cat's ass?
And we're back, folks.
Yep.
That was East Coast Dave with On Drugs and Lauren Walker Madsen with Little Slave to the Road. I think that's off his latest EP called Slave to the Road.
Nice. Lauren is a great guy. I always enjoyed his performances at Ruckus and the Boonies when he's came and everything. So
yeah, yep.
I love his slogan. I love the "fuck your tractor" rap slogan. Got to give him props on that.
Yeah, I saw some fucking. Oh God, I saw some shit online the other day where they were trying to say that was anti-trans or some shit. It was on Amy Estelle's fucking post. I can't remember.
That's not anti-trans.
No,
it's anti-douchey white dude.
Well, I can't understand. I can't remember what the logic behind it was, but it was the most ridiculous pile of shit I've ever read in my life. Me and Felix on Legalized Country Music today, we're talking about just fucking how PC the fucking world is right now. And fuck, dude. We're actually kind of talking about how where I was trying to pick his brain and ask him how he thought Hank 3 would fit in with this new world, So it's been 10 years since Hank's been around, maybe a little less, but a lot has fucking changed in that time,
Well, exactly.
And I just don't know how receptive some people would be towards him, but I think he'd still do good. I just think he's going to attract I don't think I would enjoy going to his shows anymore because of the type of people he'd attract, even though I might enjoy his music still, because it was kind of getting that way towards the end. That was a point Felix made anyways, that his fan base was kind of just fucking really becoming the lowest common denominators in the fucking world, not to throw anybody under the bus, but, types of Trump supporters out there.
Well, not even that, dude. He was starting to get a juggalo-ish fan base. Not even I'll say this, okay, nothing against Sturgill Simpson, Tyler Childers, Colder, or any of those guys, but you go to any of their shows and I guarantee you 50%, if not more, are probably going to be Trump supporters.
Yeah, I mean, and that was kind of one of our,
that's the thing of it is.
I want to lay this out real quick too, just so as a disclaimer. If you voted for Donald Trump, nobody on this podcast gives a shit.
No, and I don't care. That was your choice. That was your choice as an American citizen.
But
as an American voter too,
But there's
and simple.
There's a certain type of Trump supporter out there that bugs the shit out of me. And it goes two ways too, because there's a type of liberal that bugs me, you know, and I don't think either one of them are any good for this fucking country right now, you know.
No, nobody loves an extreme leftist Portlandia fucking, you know.
Well, it's just like those people we were just talking about. Like, I don't think that every fucking word that comes out of my mouth needs to be overanalyzed by some fucking douchebag just because he's got a college education.
Well,
You know?
exactly. You know, and the thing is, people, you know, somebody telling me that I'm a hate monger or, you know, I'm a phobic I'm a, you know, any type of a phobic, you know, fuck them. You know, you don't know me. You don't know the person that I am. You know what? I don't have a hateful fucking bone in my body except for people that do malice to other human beings.
Yeah. You know, and I think this is another point I made to Felix on the show today, because I have a feeling like, I don't know if a lot of people are going to have time to listen to all my podcasts. I'll try to cover a little bases. But I mean, going back to that, I think this is something I brought up on the show. I was like, if you look at it, if you break it down, sorry, I burped. I'm actually getting prepared for the beer segment right now. I just popped open my beer, which I'll tell you what it is here in a little bit. But after I get some,
I'm waiting until we start the segment to open it'll be the last one I drink of the day. I've already had a few Chardonnays with lunch and everything.
You should have made it your first one so you weren't clouded up with fucking wine and shit. But that's all right. But anyways, we'll keep going.
I didn't drink any wine.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. So this is what I was getting at. Like, I think you could probably go back in just about 99.9% of everybody's life. And if you watch them when they're in their car alone driving or in their house alone, you know, everybody at some point in time has probably said something that they shouldn't have said. You know, whether that's racist, sexist, you know, whatever it be, you know. I mean,
and the thing is, and most of the time, if you're in your home alone with your other people or other members of your family and you're watching something on TV, you know, say, you know, here's an example. A gay male couple comes on and this happened to me this afternoon. Here's a perfect example. Was watching one of the DIY network shows. It was the House Hunter things, and it was this gay male couple, and they were over in Hawaii, and they hiked up to the top of Diamond Head. And he was talking about Diamond Head, and I looked over at my mom, and I said, yeah, I bet they're going to go back to their villa and, you know, give each other some Diamond Head and everything. Just completely out of just comedic value and out of a joke. You know, no hate involved with it at all.
Well, and you know, I mean, that's not really like, I don't view that as anti anything anyways. It's not like you call them a couple, you know, I'm not even going to say those words on here anymore, you know, but you know, I mean,
just a couple innuendo joke every now and then is not hateful to anybody. It's usually funny, and I tell you what, usually the people that, you know, it's about will tell you even better jokes.
Yeah, I mean, I think
some of the best gay jokes I've ever heard has been from a gay person. So,
well, yeah, Paul Rutzen had some of the best ever, but you know, but that's just the fucking. It's moving away from that nowadays, you know. There's no sense of humor in anything, which, I mean, I'm not gay, so I guess, I mean, maybe people are just tired of it. Maybe they're tired of being a joke, you know, and that's fine. Maybe exactly. Like I told Felix, it's probably just time to start forgetting that. I mean, it's not that big of a deal anyways, you know, for all these assholes that think that they have the right to drop an N-bomb or, you know, call somebody, you know, any kind of derogatory term, you know, whether it be sexist or homophobic, which I hate that fucking term anyways. Like, a phobia is a fear. Nobody's homophobic.
Yeah.
Nobody's afraid.
Nobody's afraid of gay people. Nobody's afraid of transgendered people or any cis people or any phobia. A phobia, like you just said, a phobia is a fear or something. Like,
no, if you got a problem with those people, you're a fucking asshole. And that's it.
Yeah, no, that's a person. That is a personal problem, and it's not a phobia. You don't.
Yeah.
A person that claims to be homophobic or transphobic, if a trans or a homosexual person came into a room and they didn't even fucking know about who they were, they're not gonna know that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, people that claim to be a phobic like that think every gay person is just this stereotype flaming homosexual man, you know, with pink ribbons fucking draping them, and they think every trans woman's like this gigantic drag queen, and so on and so forth.
Even if they are, that's none of their fucking business, and it's still not a phobia.
Exactly.
It's something that's none of their fucking business to begin with, and they need to fuck on with their day and shut the fuck up, you know.
And that's exactly what the world needs to do. Is they need to do this: mind your own fucking business.
Yep, I think that goes. I mean, I think that if everybody would do that on all spectrums of life.
Yep.
The world would be a better place, you know. We need to start viewing people as people and not whether they're gay, trans, whatever, you know.
People are people, man. Brown, white, black, whatever fucking color, creed, nationality, race, religion, whatever.
But
the one thing this world needs less of right now is hate and bigotry and ignorance.
Mm-hmm. Well, and going with that, you know, the world needs less hate. You just said it, but so, you know, I think that the world needs to be a little more forgiving, and that goes back to where, you know, we're talking about. I think if you followed anybody around in their car or whatever, you'd find them saying something at some point in their life. Nobody's perfect, you know.
Exactly.
The point is, you can't just I mean, what's the point in causing more shit with these motherfuckers, you know? Like,
well,
I mean,
what's the point in causing somebody to feel bad about themselves?
Well, I mean, that's not what I'm talking.
Just because they want to be different, and
that's not what I'm talking about right now.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm talking about, like, so, you know, these people that attack, you know, or, you know, they feel like it's their job to fight, like, racists or fucking homophobes or whatever, you know. It's like, I get it. Like, you got to fight fire with fire sometimes, but you have to forgive people. You can't dig up shit from everybody's past or assume that anybody who says something fucking stupid is racist. You can't attack people just because they say something fucking stupid all the fucking time. You've got to fucking learn to educate the right way. And that's, you don't do it by talking to people like they're fucking stupid, and you don't do it by fucking telling people their beliefs are wrong, you know?
You don't do it by rioting or causing civil unrest, and
you know, maybe a little bit. It just depends on how extreme it is. You know, I mean, the Civil War is definitely some kind of rioting, but
when it comes down to it, when it needs to be done, it needs to be done. But sometimes, you know, a protest is just to get shown up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and like another thing I was telling Felix too is like, you know, I think there's so many people in this generation that want to feel like they're a part of some kind of, you know, movement or something, so they've got to push for it, you know. It's like let's try to solve things before we picket shit or riot or whatever, you know. Like, it's a different world than it was in the 60s, and sometimes you need to riot, you know. When they shot that fucking Trayvon guy, fuck, man, That was bullshit. They let that motherfucker off. I mean, there's a lot of injustices still going on. I mean, I think the biggest argument anybody has to riot is how the fucking police and society are treating people and getting away with shit. You get so many goddamn crooked cops out there right now getting away with murder, literally, that fucking it makes nobody feel fucking safe. You know?
So this is you've met my older brother. He's about 9 years older than I am. He grew up like during the 90s, during the height of like the, major police racism in the world and everything. And he told me a story when he was down in Portland with a friend of his, and his friend was black or African American, sorry, whatever you want to use.
I don't know. It's so acceptable in this world. I don't know though. But
I'll say African American. If somebody's offended that I said black, I'm very sorry. I meant African American. Anyways, he was telling me a story of, they got pulled over by Portland police, and it was like 96, 97. And he said they both got pulled out of this car like they were fucking, just got done robbing the liquor store or something. And he told me, he's like, I will never ever forget the feeling those cops like tried to make both of us have that night.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and that's fucked up.
Not a lot's changed.
No,
to be honest,
it's not.
That's the thing, is people like to think things have changed. People like to think that that's just shit that the NWA wrote about in the 80s, and they like to think that's what Tupac wrote about with the Rodney King riots and shit, and that was something that got left behind back then, but it's not. It's something that still happens day to day. I worked at that 7-Eleven in Seattle, and Jesus fucking Christ, still the same shit up there, same shit. Nothing's changed. That's why they're fucking pissed. It's not because, people are like, get over it. This, I didn't own slaves. Well, you know what? You might not have, but guess what? The same shit's still happening. That's been happening. Do black people, are they slaves? No. Are they getting paid less? Well, yeah, in some situations they are still fucking oppressed, and people don't fucking understand that. Because the only people that don't understand it are people that aren't fucking black, and they're the ones that think they should have opinion on whether or not fucking black people are still oppressed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Civil rights with dog bite and Blackwater Dern,
Civil unrest on Dogwater Radio.
I should probably roll into some tracks, huh?
Yeah, we might as well.
All right. Well, I got a little bit. Hey, I got a double Raven.
Oh, I seen that.
Yeah.
Some Ugly Valley Boys.
Yep. Raven by Ugly Valley Boys and Raven Song by James Honeycutt. And we'll be right back with you, folks, and we'll keep this going. We'll try to make it a little less heavy-hearted on the next round and try to avoid this.
I don't know. We might have to come in with the beer round next time.
Maybe that's what we should do.
I'm getting kind of thirsty.
Yep, I've been working on mine. I think I don't know if I've given an opinion yet. I guess we'll have to wait until the next segment. So,
all right.
We'll be right back with you guys.
All right.
Well, I'll just run right out and join the wrestling team.
Had a raven under my skin when the heart grew cold. That's when the sunshine in. A soft pulse will rise. You've been you've been a long time. I had my share of heartache even before I was born. They tell me that something passed over from the black night beyond. A soft pulse will rise. You've been you've been a long time. Well, they say when you fall alone. When you rise to find your way back home. Say when you fall alone.
back home tonight. Now that the smoke is cleared, I'm the only one standing here. I was hard to recognize. I saw it full, sore eyes. You know, I thought I had a good thing, but that one turned out bad. I was looking over all the things that I thought I had. I saw it full, sore eyes. Been a long, oh, you've been a long time. Well, they say when you fall alone. When you rise to find your way back home, I say when you fall alone. When you rise, find a way back home, find a way back home tonight.
All alongside, all up there, lovely up smelly dog poo.
Burn black your wings, fly oh so high, break open this heart to set free the light. Then just like the raven who stole back the sun, you'll give them the rainbow to shine on everyone. Racing like bullets thrown from a gun, sudden the blast, a flash, and we're done. When we've used all our feathers, our flying days are done. Just like that raven, we'll return to the sun.
The Rock says this. Write this down. When you leave here, go down to Dunkin' Donuts. Get the biggest jelly donut you can find.
Oh, no.
a cop. They're just
Write
trying
it
to do
down.
their job.
Hold that jelly donut up. Squeeze all the jelly out. Squeeze all the jelly. Write it down. You like writing things down. Squeeze all the jelly out. And then write this down. You don't want to forget this. Turn that sumbitch sideways and stick it straight up your candy ass.
All right, folks, and we are back. It's a little bit of ugly out.
Raven double for.
Yep, that might have been 2 ravens, as James Honeycutt would say.
like Raven Simone off of Disney Plus.
And then it was James Honeycutt by Raven song by James Honeycutt. Maybe we shouldn't do 2 songs with the same name. That it might not work out well for us, especially when we're going into the beer segment of things. It would probably work if like I had started the beer segment like at 4:30 this afternoon. Yeah, I honestly didn't even want. I don't know. I'm getting old, so a beer a week for me, man, is like drinking a lot again. And but I'm into it. I went out and picked out a beer today.
What'd you get?
So I can't remember if I've had this before. I think I might have, but I couldn't be sure. So I decided to grab another one. But this one is by 10 Barrel Brewing Co. And it's the Apocalypse IPA. It's in the 22 ounce bottle. I think that's 22 ounce. But it's pretty plain Jane, typical fucking IPA. It's not bad, but it's not great. I almost went for another IPA in a tall boy can. I was gonna try the new Ordinance IPA is what I was gonna do, but I decided to go with this instead because I figured I had a canned IPA last time. I wanted to spoil myself a bit, but this is a couple bucks more than the can was. And I'm almost thinking it probably wasn't worth the $2 more personally. I mean, I hear a lot of good things about 10 Barrel, and I was pretty sure that I wasn't all that impressed. So now I'm even more sure that I'm pretty sure I had this beer, and I'm not all that impressed.
That was the Apocalypse.
Yeah, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. I've definitely had worse IPAs. It's pretty thick for an IPA. It's almost got a stout texture with the IPA flavor to it. So they'll fill you up real quick, I'll tell you that. But it's not too bad. I can see it being like, last week when I was talking about the Bat Squatch by Rogue, I could see it being a lot like that, where it just tastes like piss about fucking 3/4 of the way through,
Mm-hmm.
It's almost undrinkable, flat, warm. Fucking, it's disgusting. Almost makes you want to throw up to finish it. But I'm almost certain that's what this one will be. But it's not too bad now. It's definitely probably best served cold. I'll tell you that
for sure.
What are you drinking today?
I am drinking it's called Key Limedy. It's from Oakshire Brewing out of Eugene. It's a Kolsch, and it's a lime and honey brewed Kolsch. It's actually fucking delicious.
I've only had a couple Kolsch's, but I think they might be my new jam. Really, they're harder to find, but if I find that, I'm gonna try it because it sounds like it's up my alley. I'm not into the fruity flavored shit, man. Like even if it comes with a fancy beer, but I'm open to try it.
The thing is, it tastes basically if you put a little bit of like lime into a Heffy or like lime into a Corona or something.
Mm-hmm.
It basically tastes like that. It's like the lime is already added to it.
Well, you see, I'm okay with that, but what I'm not okay with is when it tastes like artificial fucking flavoring, like that Hefeweizen that Widmer did a few years back, or Shock Top. That Shock Top shit was fucking gross.
And and the thing is, like, you would think with like a domestic beer, you would probably think like it would be like that, shit flavor like that, but Oakshire is a good brewer. They're a good microbrewery. I've drank Oakshire beer before, and honestly, the selling point on this one was when I went to Safeway, the 4-pack. I think they like marked it like wrong on the price checking because a 4-pack of this was $3.99.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So is it a? Are they in a bottle or a can?
It's like the 4-pack cans. It's like 16-ounce cans. But yeah, it was like $3.99, and I checked out and with my Safeway discount, not price, no corporate sponsor there. It turned out to be $3.09.
Wow!
So after I checked out, I went back and bought 2 more 4-packs of it.
That's funny.
But no, it's a great beer. I definitely recommend it to anybody if you can find it. Oakshire Key Limety Kolsch. And I also went kind of cheapo domestic and tried the Keystone Lime raspberry beer that I talked about last episode. I went and bought some of that. I will say this, like after about 3 or 4 of them, you might want to change to something else. But for what it is, like if your old lady doesn't like beer and you don't really feel like drinking beer, it's a good buy. But the honey Kolsch or the lime honey Kolsch, for sure, I would definitely go and try.
Huh. So it's at Safeway. I might grab some next week and maybe go that route.
Hell yeah. So
I'm gonna end up with, I don't know. I'm trying to stick with just singles so I don't end up with an abundance of beer I'm never gonna drink. Because I've still got 3 cans of Bat Squatch in my fridge from last week, and I went and bought this today, so
Well, I also got like this Huckleberry Seltzer thing, but I'm not even going to talk about it. It was kind of meh.
Yeah, I got you.
It was one of those it's one of those hard seltzers that like you just like get to like try, and it's it was Huckleberry and it said small batch. And I'm like, this might be good. And it's
Have you ever tried the Huckleberry Blonde from Prodigal Son?
No, I have not. I'm going to buy a growler or 2 growlers in the next week or 2 so I can actually start doing like micro like fills like that at places.
Yeah. It's that one was a good beer, but it was one of the most unique beers I've ever had in my life because it was so light. It was almost like drinking air. But it tasted good. Tasted really good, but I was belching a lot, and it was so weird. It was almost like you weren't drinking beer. It's like you were drinking. It was like you were swallowing beer flavored air almost, with a little bit of Huckleberry in it. So,
and that's weird. And that's another thing when people tried to do the Huckleberry taste, like I don't know, some of our listeners out there, hopefully you've actually been able to experience the real taste of a wild Huckleberry. Like, it's hard to fucking match that taste. I mean,
you can't copy it. And that's the thing about them. They buy up as many Huckleberries as they can because that shit's made with real fucking Huckleberry.
Exactly. Just like, when you go to a Wild Horse Resort and Casino, when you go to their buffet, and they actually have like real Huckleberry jam. I mean, that's actually true Huckleberry. And like, and their bar there at the casino, they have like Huckleberry margaritas. And I mean, that sounds good. They go well. I mean, Huckleberries is a big part of the tribe, in that.
So Ms. Eva Marie Chitty McMasterson recommended the Huckleberry margarita from Hamley's, and that's a pile of shit. Don't ever order that.
Yeah, I don't. Hamley's is kind of
better now that the Indians finally won it from the Cowboys.
I know. That's
That's pretty rad that the natives got it. I think didn't the Wild Horse end up buying that from those fuckers?
the tribe ended up buying it. I'm not sure exactly what they're gonna do with it, but
the tribe got a little bit of cowboy fucking back from a little bit of America back.
Fuck, man.
Well, it's a victory.
Not well. I mean, the thing is,
it'd be great.
The thing is, with like the Umatillas and Pendleton, there was never like a true like bad hatred of natives. I mean, there was, but I mean, there was more of an acceptance than there was in a lot of other places in America and everything.
I don't know about that. The fucking reservation up by Walla Walla with that Indian war might fucking beg to differ on that. I think there's some bad blood there.
That was a different band of Indians though. So that was a lot of different, like that was into like you're talking about like the Cayuse War with like the Whitman Massacre. Yeah, that's the Cayuse Bannock War. That was pretty that was basically where like Battle Mountain came from, and like the Battle of Sand Hollows, and yeah. Speaking of that, actually, kind of off the topic, or well, kind of on the topic of that, I found a place on the internet that was selling prints of the map that the army and that the land people were actually giving to like the scouts, like the scout maps that they had. And it was kind of neat to like go and like see the different like, and it had like Hebner and like different little, or it wasn't Hebner, but like the different little like home and everything. Like you kind of knew where they were. It's kind of a neat map. I'm actually thinking about it.
Well, it's really, it'd be cooler if they had. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a map similar to that. I think. But it was probably a little newer by the time it was from when they first started naming those communities, though, you know? It's actually on my shirt now that I think about it, because there's a few towns on that shirt.
Well, the Lena, Gooseberry, you know, basically all Lena was when you drop over the hill from Kilkenny's, it was right down there at the bottom of Franklin.
Yeah.
Then and Gooseberry, all it was out there in the middle between Ione and the highway to Condon.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the whole, but there was like a whole community up by Wells Springs too. You know, there's a bunch of those little areas that had a lot of, just their own little communities before the big towns came in and settled, you know.
Well, right now the canyon that I work in, where the Trio Lodge is, Rude Canyon there.
Yeah.
Like 2 miles down from the house is where the old Rude Canyon schoolhouse site is.
And if you drive around these back roads, there's a million schoolhouse sites.
Oh yeah, and you can tell where those little schoolhouses, basically that was a little incorporated community during that time.
Yep. A lot of those are built around schools and where their water supplies were at that point in time.
And especially over on that side with like the word like Liberty Schoolhouse on that side and all that. That was all like, you could tell like where the old Liberty Schoolhouse and where the old Rude Canyon Schoolhouse was right down exactly down the hill from where a water source was.
Well, and then even you go up a little bit past Ione, you get in the Cecil area, and up in those canyons, there's little communities, as well.
Well, between between Condon and Arlington, you have Olex down there in the bottom of Rock Creek, and that's actually still, I mean, it's not like a major community. There's still like 3 or 4 farmhouses down there, but like, you have like Michaelo, that's, there's a grain bin and a couple farmhouses there. And, and that's the majority of what these little communities, like that are, it's just, it's the families that homesteaded that place, and their ancestors, thankfully are still kicking it out and doing it like the way their ancestors were.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I got that Homestead and Heritage book. It's pretty good. It's not as big as I thought it would be, but it's good.
It's
Then I
it's like orange on the cover, and
yeah.
and kind of tells you about it. It's a very good book. Like
There's another one too. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a two-parter.
I have a book that I let Jake Roy that you need to read about. You know where where knifers are is there in Lexington. You know the big mound right next to that place, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Where right there where you go into Clark's Canyon.
Yeah.
That big mound, they actually think that mound was built by pre-Columbian natives as a marker for to go up, for canyons to lead up into the mountains.
Isn't that that's where Beth Baker died too, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, right. It's right in it's that corner right there.
Huh. I'll be damned. It always did look a little weird. But I don't know. I mean, I always thought it was just how the road was paved, but it was naturally formed like that, huh?
There's a big belief, or there's a couple articles that I've read that I'll show you that they think that was the actual built marker for tribes.
Well, I mean,
if you think about it, that canyon leads right
to the blue.
Leads right up into the mountains.
Yeah.
Leads right up. It leads right over to Raytrick. It leads right up. Leads right down where they need to go, where they would have needed to go to between the mountains and the Columbia.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, it makes sense, I guess.
Half drunk at archaeology on Dog Water Radio.
Yeah, it could just be some shit that people think too.
No, true. Very true, man. I don't know. Like I've told you before, I'm a big believer in the last couple of years of the primitive Earth. We actually don't know how old like our species is, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit that's just,
what really grinds my gears is those those fucking flat earthers.
Oh god.
How can a person in this day and age, with as much scientific evidence as we have of this whole world, universe, and whatever, how can you believe that this fucking Earth is flat? And ice wall surrounding us.
I think those same people believe that Donald Trump's a good Christian as well. So,
I know, a lot of those folks are like on the fringe fuckers though. They're the ones, they're like the very bad tinfoil hat wearing folks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Well, who knows?
They're the Felix Thursdays when they have too much Jameson.
Oh, shall we roll into some more tunage?
We might as well. That's probably another 20 minutes of us fucking rambling on over nothing.
Pretty much. Pretty close to 20 minutes. It will be by the time we get done introducing our next songs. And that's a little bit fitting, I think, that we do Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms by Coffin Hunter. For those of you guys that don't know, Coffin Hunter is fronted by the bass player of Exodus, Mr. Jack Gibson, a friend of mine. And then followed by some friends of mine that I just made out of Tacoma, Washington. They've been hanging out and playing a lot with the Stoned Evergreen Travelers and Blood, Fire, and Rainwater and that crew, and little band called Devil Built, and this song's called Sheet and Heart. We'll be right back with you to send you guys home. It's been a great episode, and yeah, like I said, we'll be back with you to send you home. See you guys later.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hello? Hey! Sorry, I need a screwdriver.
I'm sorry, I'm all out of vodka.
No. I need to borrow a real screwdriver to open my daughter's trunk.
Oh, you have a daughter. Is she hot?
What?
Don't worry, I'll keep a special eye on her for you. My name's Carl.
Yeah.
And I'm the resident advisor.
Oh, shit.
What? Hey, wait, come back. Don't leave me hanging.
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms are three of my favorite things. So give me a drink and light up a smoke and give me a goddamn gun to sling. Pour a drink when day is done and smoke with my last breath. Grab your booze and smokes and guns and salute the ATF. Bombay Gin and Morgan's Rum and Wild Turkey 101. Drink it all and smoke it up and put some bullets in the gun. Smoke and drink until we're blind and shoot our guns until we're deaf. Grab your booze and smokes and guns and salute the ATF. Stand up and praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. We drink and smoke and shoot our guns and we don't need no one's permission. When we're done and bullets gone, still the smoke will linger. But if you've come to take my gun, you have to pry it from my cold dead fingers.
Been getting by with that shit too long.
We ran out of that. Now move on, Flycatcher. Got hungry men behind you.
I'm gonna fold your bluffing hand someday, you chicken shit motherfucker.
In your dreams, Pedro. In your dreams.
Chale, cálmala.
What the fuck you think you're trespassing into, huh?
Dale, cálmala, cálmala. Clávate on me.
What do you want?
I thought you wanted it.
What?
Watch out.
I don't want his pork chop. I want his life.
old painful shackest flooding blues. I done broke through, levee rose above my forehead. I got down on my knees praying. That good Lord, He gives, that good Lord takes away. I came home late at night while she done me wrong. Found her with another man, said, time you moved it along. I knew that 44 gonna give me 99. Cursed her cheating hard, and then I shot my wife. See her moving out through the pines, deep in the woods, twin trees started to hold down in that mud. Laid her to rest, covered her with leaves, left to be consumed by coyotes and the bugs. We played our cards and knocked hell out spades. If you got a cheating heart, gonna put you in your grave. And I got dead on a suicide jack. But the rains come floods and all them sins from the past. As the backwell stopped rising, come down to reveal the ground. Found her body in a chain link fence and a head with a blue tick hound. Found that mean old pistol in the mud outside my door. The judge, he said 99 life for using that 44. Now when I'm alone, I hang my head and cry. 'Cause I know the day I'm free will be the day I die. I got down on my knees to pray. That good Lord, He gives, that good Lord takes away.
I'm coming to the airport with your family. Can't wait to see you. You got a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow.
I will.
Hey, Becca! Steven Tyler PJs! Steven Tyler PJs!
That's great, yeah.
Rebecca, are you listening?
Hey.
Hey.
We're back.
We're back. Back
That was
again.
A little bit of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms by Coffin Hunters, followed by Devil Built's Cheating Heart. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's something that I haven't done in a good couple month or more, is go and shoot guns.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today, actually. I
haven't got my trigger fixed for a while.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today, that I hadn't shot my gun for a minute. And thought about going out. Maybe I'll go out tomorrow. I don't know if I've got anything going during the day, but yeah, maybe I'll go do that tomorrow. Go blow up some shit. I don't even know if I got any shells. I think I might have used them last time we went out to the gravel pit. But yeah, yep.
Yeah. So, anyways, well,
I might take this time to talk about a little compilation album we're working on.
Yeah,
Ruckus and the Records.
That might be a good segue into it.
Yeah. So we're gonna be calling it Ruckus in Place, which is a play on the words shelter in place, and it's going to be a compilation album with a few different folks. I'm not too comfortable announcing exactly who yet because I've only received one track. And you know how things go and you know how musicians are, but it's going to be all home recordings, recorded recently throughout this whole coronavirus shit. So, I mean, I'm sure maybe some of the songs will have inspiration drawn from being stuck in the shelter in place shit, and some of them might just be funny, try to help you laugh throughout your day. It's probably going to be a good variety of different kinds of songs, but they'll all be probably kind of lo-fi. Some of them will probably be better than others, you know, and as far as quality goes of the recording, but it'll be fun. It's going to be a good project, and we're working on that right now. You know, tell you who I've talked to about it and tell you who seems interested. And I've talked to Lester from the Pine Box Boys. I've talked to James Honeycutt. I've talked to Husky Burnett. Sam Bones is the one that actually sent me a track. Cole Hinkle. I've talked to Cole Hinkle about it. I've talked to our new friend East Coast Dave. Trying to think of who else I might have talked to. Talked to a few people. So we're probably looking at a good, you know, probably 13, 14 tracks. And I'm also looking at the possibility, like I said, this is just a possibility of putting it out on cassette tape as well. So,
people are going to be fired up, the old Dotsons.
And so yeah, it's going to be a great project. I'm really excited about it. And you know, it's been as far, you know, the coronavirus has actually not been horrible to Ruckus and the Records, as much as I kind of hate to say it. You know, we've had a pretty good go at it. People have been looking at us again. People have been paying attention to what we're doing, and I think we've been providing people with good quality, fun shit to help them get through this stuff, and I think they appreciate that. You know,
I think you're trying to fix that little niche between, you know, people wanting to see live music and, you know, not being able to go and watch it, but the artists still wanting to be able to perform. And thank them, also for wanting to actually, share their art and, share their, music with everybody, during this time.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think everybody's really pulled together to try to make this situation a bit more pleasant than it could have been. We've had a lot of things to keep us entertained, and we've had a lot of people taking care of each other. There's a lot of us that are still working, still doing shit, trying to help out the people that can't work. This has been especially hard on anybody in the entertainment business, whether that's bar business or musicians or professional wrestlers. So I've been dabbling with some of those, and we got a lot of bartender friends that are at a fucking work right now. It sucks because, being a bartender is it's a fucking, it's job.
An art.
Well, you have to do it you can't take a break from it. There's no.
And I'll tell this, I give those men and women the utmost credit. It's an art,
Mm-hmm.
Not only do you got to learn how to make the drinks, but you got to learn how to deal with people's bullshit as well.
Yep, you're a therapist, you're a mixed drink or a drink mixer, and
you're a mixologist, you're a therapist,
a mathematician, janitor. You got to deal with cleaning up some of the grossest fucking shit in the world. You're a bodyguard.
And sometimes you're a mental health therapist.
Yeah, you're a bodyguard sometimes. I mean, it's a tough job. They deserve every bit they get plus more. And those guys are out of work right now. And a lot of those good business owners that have been great to bands that we know and love, they're fucking hurting right now, and that sucks. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. It sucks. But I think everybody's really pulling together. I was kind of hoping that maybe people would realize that that there's more things to life than politics. There's been a lot of people bitching and fucking being just unnecessarily mean to each other over who they vote for or whatever,
I've seen people being mean to each other over, their beliefs in this coronavirus shit,
Yeah.
I guess if you're one of those folks that don't think this is a big threat and think that the bans need to be lifted, so what, man? But like, I'm sorry, like this is still this isn't like done, washed our hands of it and we're gonna be, out of the blue here by the end of May or June,
Well, look, too. I mean, it's safe to say that the two people on this podcast right now talking were very skeptical of this shit when it first happened. Both of us, right?
Oh, I was very skeptical of it.
I talked a line of shit, man. I was about ready to blow up. I thought if I heard coronavirus one more time, I was going to lose it because, I mean, look at how many times they've toyed with this. It's like every time there's a goddamn election, some virus comes around. It's the Ebola virus, the West Nile virus, or this or that, and you never, you're outside looking
H1N1.
You start thinking to yourself, like, fuck, I get tired of this shit. But then all of a sudden, here we are and fucking sheltering in place and avoiding going outside, and can't go to restaurants, can't hang out, can't go to bars, can't do shows, and the death toll, I think, yesterday reached a fucking million,
Yep.
And so it's
it's over 1 million globally, and I'm not sure exactly what it is in the U.S. It's in the upper.
Well, we're one of the.
It's too many.
Yeah,
it's way too many.
And the problem is they're worried about it coming back.
Well, and that's what they've seen is the pandemics of the past. It's the second waves.
That's the worst.
That are the major killers.
Yeah.
People get relaxed. They start lapsing and
stop washing their hands so much.
Well,
stop wearing masks.
Stop wearing masks. They stop, going. They start going to places again, and boom, something. There's another infected 2 or 3 people, and
that's all it takes.
Exactly.
Well, and it's going to be one of those things. It's not going to go away. We just need to find a cure. Viruses don't just vanish. You have to find what's going to cure it.
And the thing is, they're trying to make a vaccine, and they're talking 18 months or a year to wait 18 months or a little bit longer to try and get the vaccine for it.
And they can't rest on the vaccine too much either. If you rush on it, it ain't going to be right.
Well, and the scary thing about these zootropic diseases or the viruses like this is they can hop back to animals, mutate, and come back as a completely different virus. And
and they say they've found dogs with it. I mean, it's going from human to animals now. They say it came from an animal, but I don't think they really know where it came from. Honestly,
So they claim that it came from those open air markets in China, where they sell the bats, and they're saying that it came from a pangolin. And a pangolin is basically, if people don't know what it is, it's the easiest way to say it, it's a armored anteater, and it almost kind of looks like an armadillo.
I heard it was a bat.
Well, and it also came from they think it also might have came from the bats too.
Mm-hmm.
My belief is there's a biological weapons facility there in that part of China, and either my tinfoil hat self says it was a leak out of that biological weapons facility, or this is a new terrorist cell that nobody knows about, and it was a biological weapons attack, and they're just covering it up.
You can't rule it out. I mean, I think a lot of people want to, and they want to call it hodgepodge, and but that's how you can't rule things out, even if it is coming out of Donald Trump's mouth. Fuck, he can't be wrong all the time. I mean, I guess he could be, and if anybody was going to be wrong all the time, it would be him. But I mean, you can't rule out the fact that he might be right on some things, and when it comes down to it, I mean, we're in a world where science is a very important tool, but if you don't use it right, it can be used for something very evil. I mean, look, it made the nuclear bomb, so
nuclear bombs, biological weapons, chemical weapons.
Yep. And to say that, and to say that somebody wouldn't use that's ignorant, Fuck,
oh, exactly. And that's exactly what, is this a new, like, I hate to say it or be weird, like comic booky, and like, is this a new, like, super terrorist organization that, nobody knows about, that they're trying to hide, and that they're trying, the world doesn't know about yet, except, the major countries of the world.
Well, maybe they won't ever know about them,
Yeah, maybe it is the Illuminati, trying to do
thin out the herd,
population control, thinning the herd out.
Well, I mean, global warming has reversed significantly since this happened, and they're pretty damn worried about that for a while, Fuck, maybe it's environmentalists. Who knows?
All I know is it's April and it's 80 degrees. I don't think global warming's switching at all.
Well, but they're saying that, the smog that's gone away in China and LA is significantly helping things.
And it probably has. Like the air around that area has probably helped quite a bit. Like
it might help die down some of those fucking wildfires this year. I mean, one thing, it's still snowing in the fucking mountains though. It's 80 down here, but it's still dropping snow in the blues. So you can't get to Ukiah from what I hear.
Yeah.
So it's been weird up in the high altitudes. It's they've had a good winter up in the Blue Mountains. It seems like down here we have.
Well, and down here it's starting to get dry. It's drying out early, and it's starting to get warm. And right now, what we could use is a little bit of spring moisture.
Yeah, we haven't got a lot of that.
No,
we have not got a lot of that. That's for sure.
Although
I'll tell you what I can go without is fucking that goddamn wind that hasn't fucking went away in like 2 years.
Yeah, I am. The wind some days is over, or living over here on the north end of the county in Bourbon is, the breeze in the afternoon is nice in the evening, but the days that it's like I can fucking fly a kite out my front door, that sucks.
Yeah, which is, it doesn't seem as bad. I mean, you weren't over there this last year, but it doesn't seem as bad this year as it did last year. So I'm hoping we have a summer that's not completely windy like last year. It seemed like every day it was a fucking windstorm last year. It felt like.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I really don't like, because like you get out here and like the sand is getting blown around, and like you face the wind in any direction, and it feels like you're getting pelted, like you're at the fucking ocean.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 'tis the season for coronavirus and wind and whatever.
Well, that's the way. That's what the world is now. I mean, windy days, and COVID-19.
Yep. The answer, my friend, is COVID in the wind.
Quarantine day 103. Oh my God, I thought to me, I shouldn't shoot my wife and my kids.
Corona in the wind.
COVID in the wind. COVID in the wind.
Well, shit, man. I don't know. Well, I think we've successfully done a whole podcast and not talked about a whole lot of music. Talked about gave some people some history lessons and an environment that they're not even completely at all familiar with
at all. Name dropping places.
Yep, and then we started a conspiracy theory about environmentalists bringing the coronavirus out to stop global warming. I did that on my own. I'll take full credit for that. And then,
I'll back you on that. You know, I'll be the bottom signer of that paper.
A couple straight white male morons from the middle of the fucking country gave a very in-depth discussion about civil rights and gay rights and
trans rights. And we gotta say trans rights. We can't forget our brothers and sisters like that. So
yeah, and we talked about all that and we probably pissed some Trump supporters off and
probably pissed some leftists off too.
Oh yeah, which is good.
I figure if we can piss just as many leftists, like severe leftists, off as we can piss Trump supporters off with our podcast, I think it's fucking
it's aces.
It's Campbell's soup, baby.
Yep, alphabet with the letters spelling FUCKYOU. That's
you.
FUCKU.
and if you can't take that, maybe I'll give you some big old cup of shut the fuck up with some chicken and stars.
Yeah. All my Democrat friends think I'm a fucking conservative, and all my conservative friends think I'm a Democrat. So, I think I'm just thinking logically is how I see it.
Yeah, that's just the thing. No, I'm not a fucking flag waving, conservative, and no, I'm not an Antifa supporting fucking leftist. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I am who I am.
Yep. I am who I am as well. Well, that's another 20 minutes there, Blackwater. I think we should probably send the folks home and finish it off. It's been another great show. It's good to be back. Good to be able to bullshit with you for a little bit each week. We don't get we haven't had a lot of time to hang out or do anything.
I know, and that's what this ends up becoming, is just this bullshitting more or less on a phone, as a phone call than actually doing a podcast.
Yeah, I want to make it feel like a podcast with the headphones on.
I know. I'm actually ordered a headset with a microphone today. So
yeah,
upgrade.
Makes me feel like more
upgrading my podcast game on my end here.
Yeah, and it makes me feel like more. I'm more like doing a podcast since I've got the headphones on, and they're Bluetooth too, so I don't got to be stuck to my phone. So yeah, it's overall it's good.
Yeah.
I got a great last song picked out from a great artist. He's a great friend. He's just great, And it's by a gentleman by the name that goes by the name Nick, but we also call him Tales from Ghost Town. And this song is called Fields. And I think I think this song kind of applies to things that we just talked about here.
Exactly.
It's a great song. It's a great song.
We gotta tell the story though before we go out. I'm gonna have you tell the story of Felix and Nick in West Yellowstone.
Oh,
I think this would be great. I think it's funny. I think it'd be lighthearted. It'd be a good send out tonight.
All right. So we were in West Yellowstone. Me and Jody and Felix is on my the Raising Hell in 2012 tour, I think is what we called it. It was me and the Cheating Hearts, which at that point in time was just Felix and Johnny Marijuana, and me and Jody and Felix and Johnny all loaded up Felix's fucking minivan with just chocked full of shit. We had that fucking thing
full of
put
music
together, like,
instruments, dude, and marijuana.
yeah, it was a special trip. It was actually really fun. It was the best tour I ever had. But anyways, we ended up rolling through West Yellowstone. What was it, like negative fucking 18 degrees?
Negative
there?
14 that night that everybody played at that ski chalet thingy.
Yeah. So anyways, we came back to the Farmageddon Records headquarters, and that's where we slept on the most uncomfortable fucking hardwood floor imaginable.
Good scrambled eggs and hot dogs the next day, though.
We woke up the next day, and Nick had played a show with us from Tales from Ghost Town. He's a one-man band. I think he's probably one of the most underrated one-man bands out there, to be honest. He's a hell of a singer-songwriter. Hasn't had really any opportunities to get any good studio time and any good promotion. He likes to do a shit punk rock style, but he's one of the best hands down in my opinion. But he was staying next door at Chuck's house, who was also at that point in time. He's no longer, Farmageddon Records is no longer a thing, but Chuck was one half of it at that point in time. And Chuck and Nick are really good friends still to this day. So Nick stayed at Chuck's house. We all stayed over at Darren's. And the next morning we all came out of the house to go and meet up and have breakfast. And I'm not sure if they even had breakfast with us. I don't think they did, but I think we were just saying our goodbyes. And Nick came out, and Nick is he's
Plinkett?
I want to say he's Plinkett, but yeah, he might be. He might have a little Asian in him, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for sure, but anyways, he's kind of he's
Native Pacific Coast Native American looking.
Yeah, so he's kind of Eskimo-ish looking. Well, anyways, and to Felix's defense, Nick's eyes were puffed up.
Yeah.
Like they looked like he got stung by a fucking bee or something.
Well,
they were puffy.
Well,
it looked like he was having an allergic reaction.
Well, and that morning too, it was like it was sunny out, and there was fucking snow everywhere. So like it was super bright outside too.
Yeah, and he just woke up. Mm-hmm. Like Chuck had woke him up and drug his ass outside to say goodbye to us. So he'd been up for probably a total of like 3 minutes tops. And his eyes looked puffy. And Felix was like, dude, what's wrong with your eyes? Fucking Nick looks at him and goes, that's just how they are, man. We just started laughing. But yeah, in Felix's defense, they were really puffy, and he didn't think about it. But yeah, Nick burned the shit out of him. Dude, that's just how they are. And it was how Nick said it too. Like he was well, we laughed for a long time about that. There's another one, dude. Every time I get around Nick, he has a one-liner that just cracks me the fuck up. And the last time I saw him, we were up in he lives in a little town that's in between Bozeman and Billing, Montana, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but he's got a cool little house there. And we were all staying there, the whole band. It was me, Misha, and Kevin, and Tanya, travelers.
Mm-hmm.
And so he comes in, and he's got to get up and go to work the next day, I think is what happened. He had to get up early and go do something. And we're all crashed out. And we had a long few days. Like you dropped me off in Yakima, and we drove from Yakima to Stanford, Montana, which was like a 20-hour drive, I want to say.
Jesus Christ.
And that wasn't that long. It could have only been 12. But we drove the whole way there to our buddy Tim's house. And when we got there, we expected to be able to rest up, take showers, shit in a toilet that wasn't fucking disgusting, and maybe eat some healthy food and just we were thinking like, let's get the big drive out of the way, not fucking worry about having any problems the next day. But when we got there, keep in mind this has happened this time last year, and we get to Montana, and we find out that there's a blizzard coming. And that the chances of us getting snowed in if we stay are very high, and it's supposed to hit at about 2 a.m. in Stanford. So instead of staying and resting up like we'd hoped to do, we decided to drive another fucking 4 hours, I think it was, to Nick's place. And so we're just drained. We're beat. We're laying there, and Nick comes in and is like talking about how, like, oh yeah, you guys you feel free to shower. The shower's clogged though, but feel free to shower if you want. Oh hey, and by the way, I have a beaver in my fridge, so don't freak out if you open up the fridge and there's a beaver in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he went and got himself a beaver. He's like, I haven't got around to taking the pelt off, but yeah.
That's good eating, man.
Cooked us some wild turkey.
Oh yeah.
Not whiskey, but some actual wild turkey.
Hell yeah.
I still got the turkey feather and the turkey feathers in the lucha hat, but it's all mangled the fuck.
Yeah, just take a iron, like a clothes iron, and get the steam and put a little just steam the feather a little bit and kind of like press it out like how it's supposed to look, and it should come back to life.
Yeah,
I learned that off of Mountain Man. Here a couple weeks ago. Old Tom, old Trapper Tom.
Huh. Old Trapper Tom.
Old Trapper Tom. Actually, he was the only person on that whole fucking show that I'd love to actually like sit down and like spend a whole like weekend with, just like hanging out.
Yeah. Well,
that's almost a half. Oh, that is a half hour. Shit.
Yep, it's totally a half hour. Anyways, this is Nick. Those are just my eyes, man. There's a beaver in my fridge. Tales from Ghost Town. And we'll see you motherfuckers next week. You guys have a good week, and keep healthy, wash your hands, and all that good shit.
Yeah, if you have any beers suggestions, send them into the Facebook page, and hopefully
if you want to be played,
if you want to be, definitely if you want to get played, send the music in. Also, if you're a pro wrestling fan, check out the Matt Marks podcast. I've heard it.
Recording that tomorrow.
Yeah, I've heard I've heard pretty good things about it so far. Pretty good interview with who was that? MV Young that you gentlemen interviewed last week.
Yeah, it was a pretty good interview. We're off to a good start, I think, as well. After I get off here, I'll probably watch the rest of AEW so I can highlight that shit. And,
fantastic episode tonight.
Is it? I gotta watch that. I gotta see Darby.
Yeah, it was one of the best episodes in the last couple months. So.
All right. Well, yeah, that's what Tim Cutter said too. And tonight's the night I chose to watch NXT first because I was excited to see Keith versus that other guy, the North American champion, Keith. I can't remember his last name, but he's one of my favorites right now on the NXT roster. And he's got the Northwest or the North American title, and he was fighting Damian something. And I like both those guys. Damian Pierce is the other guy's name. So I decided to watch that, and then Tim's telling me it's great. You're telling me it's great. I'm like, motherfucker, tonight's the only night I chose to watch NXT, and something's happening. But anyways, but yeah. So also, hey, hit up the Ruckus and the Records web page as well if you want to get a shirt. Maybe we'll get some dog water shirts made. Yeah. Maybe we'll get some more. Maybe we'll do another comp down the line too. You know, I can see that happening if we keep going.
Maybe down the line, I might, you know, who knows? I might learn how to play an instrument and be a hidden track somewhere for someone. You know, might be doing a old OMC cover of How Bizarre, or you know.
I'll tell you, I almost tried to do that for the '90s cover, and it's a lot harder than you think.
Dude, I watched a couple of years. Okay, this will put it a little bit longer, but long story short, place where I live right now, I was walking my dog one night, and somebody put a old like classical kind of crappy guitar like out by the dumpster with like some strings and whole like new setup for it. And on my way back from walking my dog, I grabbed it and tuned it up the other day, and it actually plays pretty good. So during the Corona quarantine, I've kind of been learning how to play guitar a little bit.
Wow, you and your dumpster finds,
man,
your fart
chair, desk, the fucking desk that we first started this podcast with. I mean,
that's funny.
Hey, another man's trash is another man's treasure, and I will always take that to heart.
Yeah.
Who knows? I might fucking write a song that goes aluminum or something with it.
Yeah. And with saying that, here's another piece of trash we hope you guys treasure, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good week, guys.
Bye.
Maybe I can whittle wood with you sometime, cool buddy? Sticky. Okay, say bye, Bardo. See you later. I'll just be, there's...
I lie here in bed and I can't get to sleep, 'cause the lights are shining through my bedroom window. The neon is telling me don't wait too long, but I can't get away 'cause the lights always on. Oh, and they don't care, no, they don't care. Now they don't care about how I feel. Oh, they don't care, no, they don't care. There's a Walmart, but it used to be a field. But I lie here in bed and I can't get to sleep, 'cause the truck's driving by. Got a promise to keep going backwards and forwards, backwards again, paving roads for the trucks that are coming back in. Oh, and they don't care, no, they don't care. Now they don't care about how I feel. Oh, they don't care, no, they don't care. There's a parking lot where there used to be a field. So on. Oh, 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 Well, I lie here in bed and I don't understand why they tell me I can't understand what they're saying. I'm too young, I'm too old. I was bought, I was sold, I was told not to stand at the fork in the road. Oh, and they don't care, no, they don't care. Now they don't care about how I feel. Oh, they don't care, no, they don't care. Their houses where there used to be a field. I said their houses where there used to be a field. I said there's houses where there used to be a motherfucking